Hey guys, today I'm bringing you my review of the TV series Spartacus. Now, Spartacus is one of those shows that's on a premium channel, which Stars, and I would have to say Stars is my second favorite premium subscription channel. My first would be HBO, obviously, and the second would be this because they're always great, like historical epics on the show or shows. I mean, Camelot, Da Vinci's Demons, Black Sails, Outlander, The White Queen, and of course Spartacus. And I have to say, I love this show. Now, of course, I do have a couple complaints, but they're just minor complaints. But overall, this is a great freaking series, and I highly recommend you watch it. Now, if I were to explain this to someone who wants to watch the show, I would say Spartacus is a mix of Rome, the HBO TV series, and the movie Gladiator, and then you add a lot of style and some slow-mo, and yeah, and you have Spartacus. Like, it's freaking good. Now, I have to say, Spartacus is the most graphic TV series I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, seriously. You know, I thought Game of Thrones was graphic. It is, but not as much as Spartacus. Rome, which it might be a little more graphic than Game of Thrones, and even that does not top this. Spartacus is so graphic. And if you can't handle it, and if you can't handle nudity like that, then no, I just suggest you don't watch it. But if you really want to watch this show, you should be willing to sit through all the nudity. And yeah, there's probably like equal male and female nudity on the show. Maybe I would probably say maybe like 55% female, 45% male, like. I mean, they show everything on the show. And also, a lot of times the slow-mo is used for, like, sex scenes and all that. And there are quite a few scenes in brothels, and a lot of slow-mo was used. So, yeah. But I have to say, the slow-mo on the show is actually used well, is used really well. I mean, there's a lot of it, but it's done well, and it's not like silly, like something like Legend of Hercules. It's really silly, that movie, like all the slow-mo, but this slow-mo works for this show. And also the fight scenes are so amazing. I mean, they're freaking amazing on this show. Like some of the best TV fight scenes ever. Or just, yeah. Now let's get down to the acting. If there's that's my biggest complaint. The acting in the show, it's either like really like wooden acting. It's like either really wooden or it's over the top and silly. But that's the thing. You don't watch Spartacus for the acting. Like Game of Thrones is a great show, and it has great acting. But yeah, you don't watch Spartacus for the acting. You watch it for the story and the fight scenes and the awesome characters. Just don't go in the show expecting great acting. And there are some people that are just awful. So yeah. And also, so now let's get into the characters. I'm not going to go over every character. I'm just going to go over the characters of note that are of note to me. First of all, there are two actors who have played Spartacus. The first one, Andy Whitfield, he played Spartacus in season 1. And then Liam Mcintyre played Spartacus in season 2 and 3. Now, they had to because the first actor, Andy Whitfield, he was diagnosed with got cancer, and so yeah, in between season 1 and 2, there's a prequel series of like what happened before, like Spartacus and all that, and I have to say I did skip over it. But I will go back and watch it because I only skipped over it because I wanted to see the Spartacus rebellion stuff. I wanted to see Liam Mcintyre as Spartacus. So yeah, that's why I skipped over it. But I will go back and watch it. And it's really sad that Andy Whitfield, he did die, and that's why they had to recast Liam recast Spartacus, and they got Liam Mcintyre, and I have to say, I like Liam Mcintyre much better as Spartacus. Now, Andy Whitfield, he was good, and he was really freaking amazing in the action scenes. But Liam McIntyre brought something different to Spartacus. He made Spartacus way more likable. I liked Spartacus in season 1, but not as much as I did in season 2 and 3. He just made him more likable, maybe a bit more relatable. Liam McIntyre, at least for me, is the better Spartacus, and he was amazing. I know it's a cop-out, but he's my favorite character in this whole series. Now, there are some great characters, but nothing tops Spartacus for me. And then there's the character Crixus. I did not like him in season 1. He did have good moments, but I didn't like him in season 1, and I did like him a bit more with each season. Season 3, I liked him the most, and I liked that he and, Spartacus, they were, bitter enemies, basically, and then they became, the best of friends. That's what I like. The best, friendships start out when the people are, hating each other, and then they just grow to know one another and bond, and they become the best friends. I just love that. And then there's another, Gannicus is another awesome character. I liked him. He was introduced in the prequel. I did watch the first half of the first episode of the prequel season, which is only 6 episodes. But, yeah. I love, Gannicus was great, and, yeah. And it sucked how Gannicus died. He was crucified. Yeah. Okay. Other characters Spartacus is my favorite character. Other characters I like, Doctore, or his real name is Onomaeus. I liked him a lot. And I have to say, the only Romans I loved were, Marcus Licinius Crassus and Gaius Claudius Glaber. Crassus, I don't know the actor who played him, but I freaking loved Crassus. He was introduced in season 3, and that's why season 3 is my favorite season of the series, and he was a great character. And Glaber is played by Craig Parker, who was Haldir, I think, in Fellowship of the Rings and Two Towers, the elf. And he is also Lord Stefan Narcisse in Reign, season 2. So yeah. And man, oh my goodness, they're both Glaber and Crassus. Think they're both pretty sexy. And of course, Liam McIntyre's Spartacus. Andy Whitefield's Spartacus is handsome, but not as handsome to me as season 2 and 3 Spartacus. Yeah. So yeah, those are honestly, Crassus and Glaber were the only Romans I liked. All the other Romans, I just didn't like them. I either didn't like them or I freaking hated them. Oh yeah, I also did like Caesar, which we got to see a young Caesar, Julius Caesar, and I have to say, I liked this version. Though out of all the Julius Caesars I've seen on the big screen, I would still say that Ciarán Hinds in the HBO TV series Rome is the best Julius Caesar. I also think Marlon Brando played Caesar in something, and I think I did see that one, and he was good for sure. But Ciarán Hinds is the best. And also, for those of you who don't recognize him, he also is Mance Rayder, was Mance Rayder in Game of Thrones. So yeah. Okay, and also I really liked Nasir and Agron, and they're gay lovers, which I was like, whatever, but that's the thing. That was one of my complaints. Not that they're lovers and they're 2 dudes. It's that it came out of nowhere. I was like, what? Nasir, obviously we knew he was gay, and then in season 2, Agron went on this mission with a few other people, and he came back, and all of a sudden he kissed Nasir on his lips, and I was like, wait, what? That just came out of nowhere, and I was taken by surprise with that. But yeah. But luckily, both of those characters ended up surviving. One of the few big characters that survived, and I'm glad. I really liked them. Yeah. I also, now the character of Naevia, she was the other actress other character that was recast. She was played by a different actress in season 1 and the prequel series. And I have to say, season 1 and prequel Naevia, like, played by that different actress, I liked a lot. But season 2 and 3, Naevia, I didn't like her at all. I kind of hated her, and I wanted to punch her in the face, like, every time I saw her. Especially in season 3, she got worse, and the acting wasn't good, and also, though the worst part was her action scenes, like, I mean, I'm not saying she did good with the choreography, but her face, it's like, she looked freaking silly whenever she did those fight scenes, or and though she didn't look, I would say she's probably, like, the second silliest one, woman in action scenes I've seen this year. Even though the show ended like 2 years ago, I still have only seen it this year. And I have to say, though the first would definitely be Shailene Woodley in Insurgent, and I still say she looked so freaking silly whenever she did those action scenes. She's not an action star, but yeah. So yeah, I hated season 2 and 3 Naevia, especially Naevia. She even got worse in season 3. When she finally died, I was just like, I wasn't applauding like I did when Joffrey died in Game of Thrones, but I was just like, yes, finally, I'm tired of seeing her freaking face on screen. Also, there are other characters, Alithia and Lucretia are two other Romans. Alithia is was the wife of Glaber, and Lucretia was the wife of Batiatus, the former slaver of Crixus and Spartacus and Oenomaus and Nasir and Agron. And yeah, their relationship, I didn't like either of them, and there was like, but their relationship as friends was interesting. Like, it was a love-hate relationship throughout the whole series, and it ended up, it ended up horribly. And basically, Lucretia, she was there's this thing in season 1, basically Alithia ended up banging Spartacus, and she thought she was doing with Crixus. I mean, Spartacus didn't know he was banging Alithia either. They were both wearing masks, and then it was revealed, and they were both screaming. They hated it. And basically, Spartacus knocked up Alithia. And now, looking back at season 2, it makes sense. She was always like to Glaber, your child, you want to honor your child. So it's like, it makes sense. And basically, the end of season 2 ends up with Alithia has the baby. Lucretia goes crazy. She cuts the baby out of Lucretia's, and she goes to the ledge with the baby. She's all like crazy out, and Alithia is falling. She's weak. Her baby was just cut away from her, and Lucretia just takes the baby, and it's like, because she was pregnant at the end of season 1, but Crixus, who she was having an affair with, stabbed her in her pregnant belly, though she was barely showing. And it was actually Crixus's baby. He was like, I'd rather see this baby dead than suckle on your breast, or something like that. And yeah. So, and basically, Lucretia was crazy, and she thought that Alithia was actually carrying her and Batiatus' baby. She takes the baby, and she holds him, and it's actually Spartacus' baby, and she jumps off the cliff and dies, and then Alithia dies right after, and that was like, wow. And I think that easily could have been avoided. There were many instances in season 2 where Alithia could have just killed Lucretia, and now looking, she should have done it. She should have killed Lucretia when she had the chance, and it all could have been easily avoided. And yeah. Also, Courtney was also in this series. He was only in season 1. His character was killed off near the end of season 1. And listen, I don't like Courtney that much as an actor. He has yet to impress me, though I heard he was good in The Water Diviner. But man, his body, his abs, oh my gosh, like, that's another great thing about this show. Like, all the men, they're so, like, big and muscular, and wow. I mean, it might even be better than the 300 abs. I know, that's saying a lot, but wow. Ugh, I mean, Jai Courtney has yet to impress me as an actor, but man, his body, oh my goodness. And, yeah, he was great. I liked his character. Oh my goodness. Now, going on, these are the two characters I absolutely hated. First of all, Asher. I freaking he was basically like, he was a slave of Batiatus and Lucretia, but he was a former gladiator, but he got injured, and he was basically became Batiatus's yes man, I guess. He did everything, and what a freaking worm. I hated Asher so much. Season 2, he got even worse. And what a narcissistic douche. He referred to himself in the third person. I'm just like, when are you gonna die? And when he finally kicked the guy, got beheaded, his head put on a spike, I was just like, finally, Asher is gone. I hated Asher so much. And when he died, it was, oh my goodness, it was so sweet to see him die. And then another character I hated, like Tiberius, the elder son of Crassus. His other son Publius is a little kid, and we only saw him like one episode. But anyways, Tiberius was I freaking hated him. At first, he just seemed like a normal kid. He just wanted his father's like approval and stuff. You know, he wanted to be treated as a man. And his character took a downward turn. He first started raping his father's slave, Corey, who they were lovers, and Corey actually took care of Tiberius since he was a baby, and then he raped her. I was like, I hate him. And then later on in season 3, he and Julius Caesar were having an argument, and he freaking butt raped him. I was like, what the heck? This kid is fucked up. I hated Tiberius so much. And when he died at Corey's hand, which Corey herself was later crucified along with Gannicus and others, when he finally died, I was like, thank goodness. I hated him. Even though I didn't think he would die, because he doesn't die till I looked up Crassus and his family up, and Tiberius doesn't die until 49 BC, and at the time of this season, it's 71 BC, so I wasn't expecting him to die, but honestly, I don't even care that they didn't follow history with that. I was just extremely happy to see this freaking shit Tiberius finally die. And now, of course, and the last characters I'll be spending a little time on are Sura, Mira, and Lyta. They're all of Spartacus's ladies, one in each season. Sura was his wife, and she was captured by Glaber, sold into slavery, and basically Spartacus fought in the gladiator in the hope of getting Sura back, because Batiatus promised, and Batiatus did keep his word in a way, but Sura and the cart was ambushed, and she died in Spartacus' arms, and he basically swore revenge and that Spartacus wanted revenge for that. And then Mira was his lover. She was also a slave of Batiatus, and she and Spartacus became lovers in season 2, but then she died. She died in Spartacus' arms, and then Lyta was a wife of the aedile of a city, and her husband was killed, and then later on in season 3, she and Spartacus became lovers, so yeah, thankfully she didn't die, so yeah. Honestly, I liked all of them, though Mira was probably the most irritating, you know? But yeah, I liked them all, though, yeah. And also, I have to say, if there's one more complaint I have about this show, it's not really a big complaint, it's just seriously, you keep bringing it up. Like, Spartacus kept on bringing up his wife. It's like, they took her from me. I'm like, yeah, I know, you lost your wife. You bring it up every 5 seconds. That's the only annoyance I had. And I have to say, it's like the exact same thing with The Last Airbender, that animated TV series. Katara brought up that her mother was killed by the Fire Nation like every other episode, it seems. So I just compared that to, and that got old too. But yeah, yeah. And of course, before I end this review, of course, I gotta talk about the final episode, the last battle. Wow, that, I have to say, was the best TV battle I have ever seen on a show ever. I mean, it blows the Battle of Blackwater and the battle at the wall out of the water. It was so amazing. Just, I loved it. And it ended up, and it was a great battle. They won the battle, thankfully. But it ended up, first of all, we lost Naevia. Good riddance. We lost, Ludo, and we lost Gannicus' former lover, Saxa. Let's see. Gannicus died by crucifixion. Though Asher and Nasir made it out, and there's this last fight between Spartacus and Crixus. It was so freaking good, but then Spartacus was pierced by a couple spears by other Romans, but thankfully, before they were able to actually kill him, those Romans were all killed by, and Nasir and Agron, and they took Spartacus, and he died in front of them, and it was really sad. It was really touching, but it was like, it was a well-deserved death. I mean, Spartacus had fought so much, and he deserved that death. And and he was buried, and the last shot of this whole series was us looking upon Spartacus's grave. So yeah, it was really, I have to say, it was a very satisfying ending. The battle scene was so amazing. The fights in it were so great. The strategy the Spartacus and his army of former slaves came up with so amazing. It was like, wow, that's freaking clever. It was just, that was an amazing battle, a satisfying ending. I was sad to see Spartacus go, but know what? I'm glad he wasn't like captured by the Romans and tortured. I'm glad he got that death he definitely deserved. And yeah, so overall, this series, even with my couple minor complaints, I would still give Spartacus a 5 out of 5. It was so great. I highly recommend you watch it. It's amazing, and it's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, watch it. So yeah, if you've seen this series, tell me your thoughts on it, and yeah. Also, my next video should probably be my reaction to the season finale of Reign, and then of course Mad Max and Pitch Perfect 2 reviews, and the rest. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.